Hello, it's Mrs. Baxter, and welcome to video number 2 of the Pythagorean Theorem. Now, we're just going to keep continuing on the notes that we started yesterday, and when you review really quickly the Pythagorean Theorem, the important thing to know is that A and B are the sides of the triangle that are right next to the angle that forms a right angle, which is identified by this square right here. And A and B are both legs, and C, which is the longest side of a triangle, is called the hypotenuse, okay? And we use the equation a squared plus b squared equals c squared, and when you know the different sides of the lengths of those parts of the triangle, you can just plug them in and solve for the missing variable, okay? So we are going to, we initially looked at, actual pictures of triangles and identifying what A, B, and C were, and then solving, okay? And then we finished out yesterday by just getting the lengths and the sides and solving for C, okay? No picture. Now today, what we're gonna do is we're going to check to see if each side of the following side lengths form a right triangle. So we're given 3 different lengths, and we're going to double check to see if it works. So let's start with number 4 here, and we have sides 27, 36, and 45. Now, what we know about a squared plus b squared equals c squared is that, and I'm going to write ourselves a little note, plus c squared, equals c squared, equals c squared. What we know about c squared is it is the longest length of the triangle. So as I'm looking at these 3 numbers, 27, 36, and 45, I'm noting that this 45 is my longest, okay? So then that must mean this is A, this is B, and that's C. All right, so let's plug those into the equation. Well, I'm going to create 27 squared plus 36 squared equals 45. Don't forget your squared. Okay, so we're going to try to see if C is equal to 45. All right, so let's solve the left-hand side of this equation to see if we can get it equal to 45. All right, so let's see here. So the first thing we're going to do is remember to use your calculator notes. We had done that right here, right, or up here. So you can go ahead and use your calculator notes to remember your squared is using that caret, okay? And I want you to go ahead and type in and pause this video and then type in your calculator 27 squared and then put a plus down and then figure out what 36 squared is and then come back and check your answers. Okay, so hopefully you paused and got the answers here. So our first number is going to be 729, and then 36 squared was 1,296, and that is equal to, we're just going to leave it as c squared, okay, because I want to see what c is equal to. And then if you worked ahead and you started adding those together, you would have gotten 2,025. Equals c squared. All right, remember from yesterday, the opposite of an exponent of squared is a square root sign. So we're going to go ahead and do a square root operation. What we do to one side, we have to do to the other side. And when we do that, remember, this breaks out into c, so that just leaves me with 1c. And I want you to pause the video here. I want you to try to put in the square root of 2025. See what you get. Okay, hopefully you got the answer. 45 is equal to C. So yes, this all works. The 27, 36, and 45 is definitely a set of numbers that would work for a right triangle. All right, so now let's look at and see if we can prove these 3 numbers, 7, 12, and 15. I'll write a quick little a squared plus b squared equals c squared just to help you remember. And as I'm looking at this, I'm looking for my biggest number, which is 15. So this must be a, this must be b, and this must be c. Now you might be thinking, oh, well, they're all in order, Mrs. Baxter. Well, of course they're like this. Well, you know what? They don't always present the numbers in order. So I want to make sure that you always pay attention that the largest number is always c. All right, so let's go ahead. I want you to pause the video right here, pause, and then come back and see if you can see if you have solved this problem correctly. Okay, so you can come back and check your work. Okay, hit pause. Okay, hopefully you set up your equation like this, 15 squared, or the same thing as c squared, okay? And when you got 7 squared, you got 49, because we're saying 7 times 7 is what this is, plus 12 times 12 is 144 equals c squared. And then when I added those two up, I got 193 equals c squared. And then I'm going to, what I do to one side, take the square root of both sides. This one gives me 13.89 is equal to c. So since it's not 15, which is not 15, the answer is no, this is not a right triangle, okay? So we're kind of going in here and proving, using this Pythagorean theorem, whether or not the three numbers presented would work for a right triangle, okay? So to me, this is telling me that this angle is a little bit smaller than a 90-degree angle. Okay. All right. Last but certainly not least, actually, let's save this for the third video, and because we will be doing just a day of trying to solve real-world problems, okay? So for today, you're going to see problems like this on your homework. If you have questions, let me know.